Okay, so I would like to welcome all of you for today's extra session. It's not a lecture. So actually what happened was students had made a kind request. And the request was, since I was not well, okay, I was not well. So the students, I could not actually conclude the final. And usually I have a ritual where I conclude things. The last lecture, I would explain what would be the paper structure, even discuss a past paper, and address any questions our good students have. Likewise, that's the ritual that we do. So unfortunately, you all know that I got critically ill, and I was unable to do that. Right. So thank you very much for being with me and praying for my recovery. Now I'm quite fine after 1 month's time. So here back I am. Okay. So that's why. So the students had made a kind request from Miss Sachinika, asking that whether I could do a small session on what would be the structure of the paper and also how the things would be tested. So I got the information, and I know that you are going to have the exams on Sunday, exam on Sunday, DBS paper. Am I correct? Sunday, no? Is it Sunday or some other day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's Sunday, no? Yeah. So that's why. And the students made a kind request. So this is an awareness session. This, in fact, not a lecture. This is an awareness session. So because it's your study leave, in your study leave, we don't usually have lectures. But since there was a request from the side of the students, so we are not going to have any attendance today. It's just, and I'm not going to create any hypothesis. No, when students are not there, I'm making certain hypothesis. No, I'm not going to make any hypothesis today because it's a completely a session that uh, was organized for the request of the students. So my very good students and you all were with me. And unfortunately, I was not well. Critically, I was not well. Almost gone to the other side and then came back. So help my good students and the people to come and a lot of things to be done because we are here to help, to contribute, to serve the community. That's my attitude always. So therefore, we could not conclude properly, and that's why the students wanted a session. And we tried to organize it last week, but then the students told no, let us study well, and then afterwards we can ask questions. We'll be well placed to ask questions. So it's today. It's not a lecture at all. It's an awareness session on how and what we are going to test at the exam. And also, if you do have any questions, concerns, you can ask me. And also, meanwhile, I will also elaborate the past paper as well as I will tell the paper structure and give you some tips as well to my good students. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how things will be elaborated and done. Okay, so if you do have any questions, concerns, you can verbally ask me or send me a text message through Teams chat, and I'll be very happy to elaborate. So students, welcome back. Good evening. Here, Professor Ajwad is back. So glad to see you all. I think we missed each other, isn't it? Greatly, greatly. We missed each other, but again, I now am okay. Got stabilized, thanks to the good doctors of the heart ward. Right. Then we shall today, let me share the screen. And you all know that related to the, related to your group assignment, what we discussed was because I could not do that because I was in the intensive care when the presentations were due. So therefore, I was unable to take the presentation. So rest assured the presentation is not going to be there. I'm going to evaluate you based on your reports, right? So there's no presentations. So don't worry at all. So the entire thing will be evaluated based on your group report as well as individual assignment. So there's no presentation. So the presentation marks also will be allocated to the group report. So rest assured, don't worry. We are not going to transfer the cost of my illness to you. Okay. We are not going to inconvenience you. So therefore, there is no presentations. It will be a group presentation, a group report evaluation, not group presentation. There's no presentations, right? I think those were some of the questions I think you had in your mind. And if you do have any questions, you can ask me now. Before I go into revising what we did briefly, I'll revise what we did during these sessions. And of course, we discussed about strategy and the environment as well as strategy, as well as performance model, as well as the SOSTEC model. And those are the things we discussed. But we did not discuss about value chain analysis, virtual kind of organization, vertical integration, virtual integration. We did not discuss those things. So in the past paper that I'm going to show you, it will be there. So, but don't worry, I'm not going to test them at your exam. So I have already structured your paper and I have sent it to the SAP. But out of what I have taught you, okay, rest assured, because my examination philosophy is not to give a textbook or whatever materials and then test from somewhere. My examination philosophy is what I teach is what I test. So rest assured, don't worry at all. I'll be setting questions only out of what I have taught to you, to your batch. I did not teach you about corporate governance, but you will see in the past papers, there is about a question on corporate governance. But I have not taught you that, so I'm not going to have any question on that. Okay. So therefore, don't get worried at all. You might, when you look at the past papers, which I'm going to show you today, you'll see that there is a question on corporate governance, right? But again, I have not taught anything of corporate governance to you. So therefore, I'm not going to test that. Okay, is that clear? Any questions, concerns before I go into the paper, the past paper and show you the structure? And also then afterwards, I'll be revising the contents afterwards so you can be focused. And I'll give you some tips as well. Okay. So you'll see what's the tip. I'll give you an important tip. Okay. Okay. So let me go to Sri Lanka. So I have not yet shared the screen. And meanwhile, if you do have any questions, concerns, any clarifications, please feel free to ask me any questions. I missed you a great deal. Even once I was a little bit well to speak, I spoke with Miss Sashinika and asked how these guys could be helped. And she told, no, you first get well and we'll then discuss. Okay, right. So I'm going to, still you are not seeing my screen. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to show you a past paper and I'm going to discuss that with you. And then, because then you will have a kind of an idea how the paper structure will be there. Then I'll be giving you some tips also. Okay. Meanwhile, if you do have any questions or concerns, you can ask me any question or concern that you are having. All right. Okay. So let me share my screen with you. And today these, and so I'll be very happy to elaborate. And attendance not counted, so you don't need to worry about that as well. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, but great. Thank you very much. So let me go to your you are 16A Moichi, am I correct? And WEWD, then 16B. Right, first things first. So let me see whether past paper is uploaded. If not, I'll upload the past paper so you can download it and you can see with me. Okay, this today, March 6th. This awareness session. The past paper is not there. So what I will do is I put a past paper. So these slides I did not cover. CG part 1, CG part 2 I did not cover. So don't worry at all. Right? So these things. So chapter 8 I did not cover. Chapter 9 I did not cover. Chapter 6 I did not cover. Right? I covered only up to chapter 5.2. 5.1 and 5.2. Am I correct? So අපිට මතක නෑනේ ඒවා. Okay. So therefore, the chapters I did not cover, I'm not going to have any single question out of that. Okay. Right. Now let me put a past paper over here so you can also download it and have a look at it with me. So let me put that under week 12 or maybe week 13. 13. Yeah. Let me put it out the week 13. I'll put a past paper. Right. And you will get a similar paper, not the same questions, but again, right. Okay. So this is one of the past papers, right? 2023 December paper. So you can now go and refresh your screen so you can download under week 30. So I'm going to discuss this past paper with you, and even although not the same questions you'll be getting, but you will see how it will be tested. But you will see almost sometimes same questions might be there. Not in totality, not completely, but some questions you will see, right? Very similar questions will be there. So that's what I want to give you a lot of tips today. Huh? Okay, so now you can go there and let me now tell you the structure of the paper. If something is not clear, please ask me. Even some thing that you studied in the lecture is not clear, please ask me. I'll be very happy to elaborate it again. So this will be the paper structure, right? This is the paper structure that I'm going to elaborate to you. There will be, right, these questions in this manner. There will be one question, the question number 1, which will be a case study. It is compulsory. So answer question number 1 and any other 3 questions. So there will be altogether 5 questions. Out of that, question number 1 will be compulsory. So you can see question number 1 has to be answered. Then after that, you could answer any 3 other questions from 4 questions. So there's an option that you could omit one if you want, right? So question number 1 is the case study. The weightage of that question is 40%. So you can see 40 marks given to question number 1. It's compulsory. Then there will be 3 other questions, 20 each. So 60. right? 3 into 20, 60. So then I'll elaborate more. I'll take these questions and I'll even discuss the questions with you, right? Then this is question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, and question number 5. So from question 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 4 questions. You have to answer only 3 questions. So question number 1 is compulsory, 40 marks. Then 3 other questions from question number 2 to question number 5. So 20 each. So altogether, how much? 60 for the three of those questions. 60 plus 40 is 100. So that's how the paper structure will be there. So question number 1 is a case study, which is compulsory. We have to answer that question because it's a compulsory question. But out of the rest of the questions, right, there are 4 questions. You have to answer only 3 questions. Right? Is that clear? Is that clear, Buddha?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Buddha. Good.
Sir,
Excellent.
Still,
And
we
if you do
cannot
have,
see the paper, sir.
oh, you can't see the paper. I shared the screen. Is it only for you or for all the students?
No, sir, I mean, at LMS, we cannot see the.
Still, you have to Buddha refresh. You have to refresh the website.
Okay, sir, I will try.
Just let me know. That's an important concern. Balanputa, you just go and refresh the screen and see whether you can see. I hope that I went and put into the correct LMS. Yeah, it should be the correct one. 16 CD. No. You are not 16 CDWD, 16 CW, you know. Isn't it? That's the thing. This is the one I should put. Your batches, yeah, 16 CD, No, not that one. Sorry. I have put it to a wrong one. Wait, let me correct it. Yeah, this is the correct one. 16 MOH. Yeah. And your LMS, they have changed the links also. That's what has happened. Don't worry. What I'll do is I will come into that. So actually 16A MOH WEWD, then 17B EX. So that's in fact your batch. So let me put to the correct one. You won't see that, Buddha, because I have put it to another LMS, right? Not the correct one. So give me a moment. But on the other hand, SAP has changed the links. So let me go to the proper link. Now let's go to the proper index. There are several index. Let's go to the proper one. So it's 16A MOH, WEWD, and 17B EX. 16A. If this is the one. No. 16A MOH. Yeah, this is the one. No? So October. Yeah, 3. Next one. So we have digital business strategy. Yeah, here you go. Actually, SAP has really changed the links. Okay, now let me put it over here. I don't know whether past paper is already there. Yeah, Buddha, thank you very much for telling me that you did not have it. Okay, let me put it in here, 13, huh? And then you'll be able to look at it. Okay, but now kindly check that if it is visible or not. Then is it visible? You have to a little bit refresh the screen to see whether it's visible or not.
Yes, now it is there, sir.
Now it's there. No? Okay, Buddha. Thank you very much for letting us know that. Right. So I updated the links as well. Okay, right. Well, you can download it. And you can see this paper there. So now you know question number 1 is a compulsory question, which is a case study, which carries what's the weight? 40 marks. Then there will be 4 questions after that. Question number 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of that, you have to write only 3. And each question carries 20 marks, right? Each. Right. Now let's go through this sample question paper. It's a past paper and I'll explain what's there. So you can see there will be this time also. Now this is a little bit lengthy case study. It's 1.5 pages. For you, it will be about 1 page or 1.25 pages, right? So it's not 3 or 4 pages. It will be 1 page or 1.5 pages case study. And here you can see the industry that's been taken is green tech innovations. Green tech innovations. So you can see Green Tech Innovations, founded in 2015, was a small startup in the sustainable technology sector, specializing in eco-friendly gadgets and renewable energy solutions. With headquarters in Seattle and Seattle offices in satellite offices in Portland and Vancouver, the company aimed to capitalize on the growing demand for environmentally conscious products. In 2019, after a successful initial phase, the company faced a critical juncture that ultimately led to its downfall. By 2021, Green Tech Innovations had garnered attention for its innovative products, ranging from solar-powered gadgets to sustainable home automation systems. The company had achieved a turnover of $2 million, but its ambitious founders sought further growth and expansion. So too much ambition is a problem. A new round of investment totaling $15 million was secured in early 2022. Right. So it was just founded in 2015, but then it had, after 7 years, it has gone for a second round, right? Was secured in early 2022 to fuel market efforts, product development and market penetration. So they are now trying to penetrate the market. Media coverage and success stories of the other green startups such as Tesla may have influenced investors to believe in green tech innovations potential. However, the company trajectory took a turn for the worse. Unfortunately, it did go into a bad or unexpected situation. The financial downfall of green tech innovations can be attributed to several factors. Now, you can see things are not good with green tech, right? With financial mismanagement playing a pivotal role. The lack of dedicated financial professional became professional, right? There was no proper financial professional in this firm, became evident when the company bought in Emily Rogers as the CFO in 2022. So only after 7 years, right, a qualified CFO was brought in, right? That's Emily Rodriguez. Rodriguez discovered that the company's financial statements were not being scrutinized effectively. The CEO, Chief Executive Officer, now Rodriguez is the CFO, The CEO is Alex Turner, lacked a comprehensive understanding of key financial metrics, particularly the contribution margin per product. So they did not know, he did not know, Alex did not know what you mean by contribution margin. I think you all know because you are accounting students, you should know what's contribution margin. That's the difference with what? Selling price and variable cost. Turner's approach, the CF, right? CEO, not CFO. CFO is Rodriguez, right? Emily Rodriguez, and CEO is Alex. So Alex Turner's approach to financial analysis was dismissive. Rodriguez noted, Alex could glance at the financial statements cursorily and wave away detailed discussions with remarks like it's too complex or we need to focus on growth, not numbers. So he's just thinking about growth. Too much growth is also a problem. You might not be able to sustain. This attitude resulted in a lack of financial prudence and failure to understand the impact of increased sales on the company's profitability. So it's not good. Rodriguez uncovered a contribution margin of minus 35. So actually what has happened is 35% minus. So for each item they were selling, what? They were making a loss, right? A gross loss, because the margins are negative, indicating that every additional $50 average order shipped, the value cost was 68, resulting in a loss of 18. Heavy discounting was a significant contributor to this negative margin. The company frequently offered discounts up to 40%, leading to a decline in profitability. The sales team was incentivized based on sales achieved before discount. So that's a grave error, isn't it? Exacerbating the financial strain. Moreover, green tech innovations faced intense competition from established players in the sustainable technology sector, such as Tesla. Tesla is a giant, right? And who is behind Tesla? Who's the founder of Tesla? Anyone? Who is Tesla's founder? Go and check that in, just type it in ChatGPT and see. Right? And well-known brands. The absence of premium product lines or proprietary items further limited the company's ability to maintain hefty profit margins. By mid-2022, the financial loss of $700,000 for the previous quarter was attributed to the discounting strategy and operating inefficiencies. Despite this, the company continued on its existing path, utilizing the $15 million, right, raised for aggressive marketing campaigns and product launches. So still they are believing in new product launches, right? Not to, address the losses they were making for each sale, but that's what they were trying to. The consequences were dire. Green tech innovations experienced a net loss of $2 million after variable costs, incurring an additional $1.5 million in overhead expenses and locked up, right, 1.8 million in excess inventory as well. So they could not send their own inventory. With only $1.5 million remaining in the bank, the company faced insurmountable financial challenges. Indeed, working capital, right, mismanagement is very well observed. In a tragic turn of events, the company closed its doors in 2023. So only 8 years it was there. Shortly thereafter, CEO Alex Turner, overwhelmed by the failure and mounting pressure, made the unfortunate decision to end his own life. So a very foolish thing to do, right? You can lose everything, money, everything, but again, you can earn everything, but not life. So this foolish man, right, utter fool, he took right, his own life. That's a very foolish thing to do. Green tech innovations assets, including its domain and customer list, were acquired by a competitor. So the domain name Green Tech was acquired by a competitor. The once promising website intended for reopening became a symbol of challenge and pressure, right, inherent in running a startup. The demise of green tech innovation serves as a stark reminder of the perils, right, disasters associated with rapid expansion, financial mismanagement, and the toll entrepreneurship can take on individuals. The echo of the stories underscore the importance of financial prudence, strategic planning, and maintenance of a balance between growth ambitions and sustainable business practices in the startup landscape. Now, you can see a short case study. So it is right. This green tech innovations is from which industry? It's from the sustainability technology industry. So at this paper, at this time, right, that was the industry tested. So maybe you might be thinking for this time, for this year, what would be the paper? What would be the industry? Any hint you want?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this time it will be from the audit industry, right? So I usually don't tell these tips, but again, for my good students, it will be from this time it will be an audit firm, and technology oriented audit firm. Okay. So I'm telling you all a secret, right? Okay. It will be from an audit firm who is trying to use technology. Okay. So, right. I think that's it. Then see the questions, right? Now you will see, although the case study differs, you will see almost all the time these questions are the same, which will be asked at the exam. Right now, what are the questions asked? Explain the micro and the macro environmental elements of the digital business environment for green tech innovations. So what's being asked is, what are the micro factors or micro players as well as macro environmental elements? Right? Now, we discussed that. So we discussed what are the micro elements. What are the micro elements? Right? What are the micro elements? Customers, suppliers, competitors, and dealers. So these are the micro elements. So you can explain for the particular business who are the micro elements. Then macro elements. Did we discuss about macro elements during the class? Yes.
Yes, sir.
What are the factors? Pestle factors. So then again, you can say, okay, for this particular, now here we are talking green tech innovation. So you can discuss what are the related pestle factors. What are the related pestle factors? So 6 marks, you can see. You can give, you don't need to write a lot, but not point form, very short form essay. Right? You can elaborate nicely, right? Not too much and not too less. Some people write only 1 point. No, they just write the pestle. No, you have to just elaborate that, how it relates to this question, right? Relate to this particular organization, that's green tech innovation. Then I have asked, discuss the buy side, sell side, and sell side e-commerce of green tech innovations. Did we discuss that during the class? Buy side e-commerce and sell side e-commerce? What's buy side e-commerce? Day 2, day 3, and even in the middle, I was explaining that to you. Buy side means what? You are dealing with your suppliers. So for green tech innovation, who are the suppliers? Right? They have their raw material suppliers as well as finished product suppliers. They also buy some other brands as well, and they were selling them. So that's the buy side. Then sell side e-commerce. What stands for sell side e-commerce? Sell side e-commerce is what? Dealing with your customers. So they are sustainable technology savvy customers. Right? So likewise, we have to explain who are the buy side as well as the sell side e-commerce. Right? E-commerce dealing with customers is what we call the sell side e-commerce. And e-commerce that are dealing with your suppliers is known as the buy-side e-commerce. So you can tailor that again to the relevant organization given to you, right? Then comes a nice question. Evaluate green tech's innovations digital business strategy. So you can evaluate whether it's a proper strategy or not. So I told you that Michael Porter explains that there are two strategies that an organization could use, which is based on cost or differentiation. So they try to, I think, now give discounts and give at very low prices. But seems they are trying to go with that overall strategy, but as well as it says what? The digital business strategy. So there are several digital business strategies listed over there. You could evaluate them. But unfortunately, they did not survive. They had a website, they had their e-commerce platforms, but right, finally it did not work properly. Right, unfortunately. And several other strategies also were given here, right? Right, giving discounts, likewise, then strategizing that. Likewise, there were several strategies, digital business strategies particularly explained. So when you give an answer for this question, first speak about their overall strategy. And then talk about, and if the strategy is not clear, tell them. So if they are stuck in the middle, as Michael Porter says, if it is uh, stuck in the middle, then it's not going to work. Right? So you cannot be selling at a lower cost a premium product. So that's what we call stuck in the middle. So I think they failed because they did not understand. They should have differentiated their product properly. They should have their own brands, differentiated the product and developed its own brand and differentiated their product and sold at a premium. But here what they were doing is they were selling things at discount, and the salesmen were given, the salespeople were given a commission based on undiscounted value. So that's a very foolish thing to do. So likewise, you can evaluate their strategy, digital business strategy particularly, which did not work. Then discuss how disintermediation and countermediation could be used. Did we discuss that? Disintermediation during the lectures. I expect, right? In the case study, these questions are, if you look at another past paper, almost the questions are same. The case is different, but the case questions are same. So what you need to do is you need to get ready for the particular industry given, right? To tailor, okay, what kind of disintermediation and countermediation could be there, right? Discuss how disintermediation means what? You remove intermediaries. Countermediation means what? You establish your own intermediate. Countermediation, isn't it? Reintermediation means what? You employ new breed of intermediate which is not tested here. Right. Now, how can you disintermediate? How can you disintermediate? Disintermediation means you are removing any traditional intermediaries. Right? Maybe they had dealers, resellers, but now their customers could directly buy it from their website. That's disintermediation. Right? Direct sales from their website. You don't need now intermediaries because you can now directly deal with in consultancy business that's taking place. Earlier, we had to now, if you are serving a foreign client, so we had to take the consultant of that particular country, right, a consulting firm, and provide the services through them. But now you don't need to that technology. You can directly deal with the customers over there, clients over there. That's disintermediation. Then countermediation. Countermediation means now you, without relying on a third-party intermediary, you establish your own intermediary. You can have your own consultancy firm in another country. in another region, right? And maybe you can even establish a subsidiary, right? So that's what we call countermediation. So establishing a intermediary, right, and providing those what services, a subsidiary, rather than using traditional intermediaries. So likewise, these are things you could apply. Then comes define corporate. Now here this question, define corporate governance and explain the benefits that could be derived. Did we discuss corporate governance in this lecture series? There's a tutorial there in the website, but I never discussed that. So this question never would be there at the exam. Right? I'm not going to test out of anything about corporate governance. And it's important. Students, do you hear me? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Bala, good. Very good, very good. Because a small internet connection issue came up, but now it's fine. So therefore, don't worry at all. This question will never come. Right? Nothing about corporate governance. Then F, recommend the steps you could have taken to stop the fall of this company. I think you can remember a similar case study we discussed at the class, which was EcoMom. Right? The same question was there as EcoMom, and I discussed what we should do. And you yourself told several steps that could be taken. Something is happening. I'm sorry, suddenly Zoom is opening. Right? I don't know. Some crazy things are happening, but again, don't worry. So therefore, there's nothing I'll be testing on corporate governance. Rest assured, I did not teach you that. So you can completely forget about that, right? But on the other hand, I did discuss EcoMom's case study, and I was telling you what kind of remedial actions. And maybe you'll be also asked what kind of digital business strategies could be introduced, right? So how can we be efficient in delivering your services? Likewise, you can provide several recommendations. Here the recommendations, right? And of course, we can blame Turner, the CEO, for not having any financial knowledge, but that's not the case, right? The people who know finances should explain the people who don't know finances properly, with pictures, with diagrams, and then without blaming that not knowing, they should be capable of, right? They should be, good enough as well as clever enough to explain, how things are done. And also that deep discounting did not work. They should have come up with their own brand. And they should have done, particularly when it comes to financial accounting side, they should have done not absorption costing, right? They should have done marginal costing. They should have prepared the financial statement based on marginal costing approach. And the salesman should have never be paid, right, on the pre-discounting values. They should be paid discounting values. And the customers were again and again given, repeat customers were given discounts. So that was not good. And growth is good, but growth should be pursued with profitability. Not just growing, acquiring other companies, acquiring other brands. It's not going to work. And also you have to very carefully keep an eye on the competition. Likewise, there are several things the CEO could have done to prevent fall in this company. And CFO should have also helped the CEO do it properly. And also, there are several other digital business strategies that could have been applied. AI could have used to analyze the market, right? And also CRM, customer relationship management could have been implemented. The e-commerce should have been used more effectively, and discounting strategies should have been used effectively, and there should have been some way to prevent repeat customers given discounts, right? Likewise, and market intelligence should have been obtained, particularly about, competitors. Likewise, things should have been done. So likewise, 40 marks. And you can see 8 marks given for given recommendation. So you have to elaborate that, right? Write the point and then elaborate that briefly. What do you mean by that? To get full marks. Some students, they only write a very brief point, which is not enough. Some people write 2 pages for 1 point. That's too much. And some people get stuck and they don't have enough time to write the answers for the rest of the questions. Therefore, balance your time. Balance your time very well. Because this paper is how many hours? Only 3 hours. It's a closed book examination. A closed book examination. Right? Any questions, concerns you have? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Adil?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good, very good. So I tried to elaborate much as possible. So, okay. Right. Now let's come to question number 2. Again, I'm going to discuss this. And I was telling that, right, always you'll be getting a very, very similar question like this. Right. So expect that at the exam. Maybe only the values might be different. Okay. Right. These will be quite different, of course, because I cannot give the same question. But you can expect always this kind of a question, which I told you at the class as well. This part. I'll tell you how to answer that as well. Okay. Right. Now let's try to answer this. Differentiate between digital business and e-commerce. E-commerce and digital business. What do you mean by that? What's digital business? First of all, define what's digital business. Digital business what? Application of digital technologies and information technology into internal and external business activities. That's what we call digital business. Then e-commerce, right? E-commerce means what? That comes only with the trading side, dealing with the customers or suppliers, right? And performing transactions electronically. Isn't it? It's the e-commerce side. What's the relationship? Their relationship, right? I even drew, right, diagrammatically and show you, right? What's larger? Digital business. Inside that you have what? E-commerce. So what I told was e-commerce is part of digital business. Isn't it? So we explained that. So I have given that in the notes as well as explained in the class. Hope it was clear. Then second question. Explain what is meant by the zero moment of truth in the context of a digital business with an example. So you can provide examples. I gave you examples, my own examples in the class as well. Zero moment of truth. And you can write your own example. What's zero moment of truth? Anyone? I'm not going to tell anyone's name because today's an awareness session. It's not a lecture. It's not a lecture at all. What's zero moment of truth? Before you even go into a shop, right? Before you go into a shop, you will know the truth. Whether the good or the service is good or bad. How? How that's possible? කොහොමද ඒක පුළුවන්? We discussed this.
Reviews.
Very good, excellent. Reviews and comments by other customers in particularly social media. Right, in social media, they might of course have given reviews and comments, and that kind of through that the other prospective consumers would know the truth. And you can give an example. Any example you can provide. Right, any items that are online, of course. I gave you an example about my mobile router to you all, right? And before buying my mobile router, which now again I have to buy that, right? After a considerable amount of time, COVID-19 period, it was not available. Online vendors were there, but I was not sure whether these are trustworthy. So what I did was I read reviews. Then there was one website which was router.lk, and there were about 40 reviews about this particular battery, all positive. I did not hesitate. I made the purchase. I knew the truth by reading the reviews and the comments. And yes, they delivered the item which worked till even today. Right? Even today it's working. But now it needs to be replaced, of course. Time has come to replace. Okay. Is that clear?
Sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Pudha.
Is there an order of testing chapters? That means second question, second chapter, like this.
I did not get you, Pudha. What do you mean by order means what, Pudha? Like that
Order
means...
means second question from second chapter, likewise.
no, Pudha. There's no order. It's mixed. Ek mix chela diye. Now, question number 2 there can be from different areas. So it's not from a particular chapter. Good question. එක පුතා මේ chapters වලින් එන්න පුළුවන්. So it's mixed purposely because if not, some students what they do is they don't refer to certain chapters. එතකොට chapter එක බලන්න නැතුව තමයි අනේ අපි question number 2 එක කරන්න නැතුව ඉමු. එතකොට chapter 2 no. To prevent that, randomly questions are put into these questions from different chapters. A very good question, Buddha. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. This is a very, very good question that you all should look into, right? Okay. Right. Now let's see this one. Okay. We worked out exactly similar questions at the class. The only difference here is the numbers. Look at the first one. Can you tell me the revenue? Now here there are 3 situations where you are asked to calculate the revenue. This is the only calculation that you will ever have. Can you tell me for the first one, what's the revenue that you will get? Can you tell me? Palayin bullet point එක revenue කීයද?
What 2000?
Let me see. Let me see. Let's use Excel. Excel use color. So simply multiply. That's what you will do. Let's see. This is the only calculation that you will have. Huh? No calculations. Okay, let's see. Now what you will do is, okay, you can take like this. Monthly visitors 500,000. Multiplied by 7% click through. That means 0.7, not 7%, 0.7%. Isn't it? 0.7. 7%, isn't it? No. 0.7%, 0.7, yeah. Not 70%, 0.7%. Isn't it? That I think 0.7B because EMB that. Actually, it should be, we have to divide it by 100. Isn't it? There's only a very small fraction is purchasing them. Isn't it? So take it properly. So it's like 500,000 into 0.7, right? Divided by 100. Present it. This is 3,500. Understood? Is it clear? So it's 0.007. So if you multiply by that, it's not like this, 0.007. It was 0.7 divided by 100 into, be careful, huh? Then 0.7% click that and only 2% buy that. 0.02. 2% buy that. And the average order value is how much? 2,000. So now you get the total order value. Right? So this is the total order value. Then out of this, the commission is how much? 30%. So it's 42,000 rupees because these are all in rupees. Everyone got that? Okay. I think the earlier student, what he told was exactly correct. Okay. Is that clear, Buddha? Then let's go to the second situation. So this rupees 42,000 is the first revenue, right? Under the first model, they got 42,000. The second one, monthly paid views 2.5 million on average. 4 ads are displayed for different advertisers at 20 CPA. So how to calculate that? So there are 2,500 page views. 2.5 million page views. So let me put an equal sign. 2.5 million. And then there are 4 ads there. Is page views 2.5. So each page has 4 ads. So into 4. So we did exactly similar question, huh? Right? And then you multiply that. So that's the total ad inventory. Right? Then multiply that with what? Multiply that with that, this one. 20 CPM. 20. You multiply by 20. And then what you have to do? Divide it by the entire thing by 1,000. Keep that in mind. Multiply and divide it by 1,000. Cost per mil means that 20, right? It's 200,000 rupees, 200,000. right? So 2.5 million into 4, then multiplied by 20 divided by 1000. Okay. Did everyone get that? Right. Then let's go to the third one. Subscribers to the weekly newsletter, 150,000 each newsletter, broadcasters 4 times per month, has 4 advertisers. So again, then we can calculate like this. So 150,000 subscribers are there. Then 4 times it's given. It's sent 4 times to their email addresses. And each of the newsletter has how many advertisements? 4 advertisers. So this is your total ad inventory. Right. And again, to do the same thing, multiplied by how much? Now, 25 CPM, cost per mil is 25, multiplied by 25 and divided by 1000. So that's 60,000 rupees. So here we can see the second option gives the highest revenue. But you are just asked to compute the revenue under each mod. Okay. So you get 9 marks. Tip. Right. This time also, there could be a question. Okay. And only difference would be the numbers. Understood? Is it clear? Is it clear, Buddha? Okay, so
Yes, sir.
very good,
Yes, sir.
excellent. So then question number 3, 4, 5. I think that's enough, no? ඉතින් මේ වගේ ඉතින් අනිත් questions ටිකත් ඉතින් බලාගෙන කරන්න. Do you want me to discuss that? Do you want to discuss me or නැත්නම් we can stop it from here? කරමුනේ. Okay. What do you say? Do you want me to discuss it or?
Yes, sir. Can you?
Okay, of course. Why not? If my students want me to do, I will do that. But shall we take a small break, Puta? For the break, I will discuss all questions. Right? Question number 3, 4, and 5. Indeed. Then I'll tell exactly what kind of expectation is there. So if you do have more questions, you can ask me. So we'll take a small 15-minute break. For the break, Gambuta. Now it's almost 9:20. So around 9. Let's say 9:35, 9:36, right? We'll meet and a 15-minute break, and Buddha will discuss these things as well. And meanwhile, if you have any question or concern, please do ask me. Right? And you can see some of the questions were direct questions that I discussed at the class. Class එකේදී discuss කරපු ඒවා හැමෝම තියෙනවා. Okay, but again. Okay, so we'll have a small break then. And I'll discuss rest question number 3 and 4 and 5 all together. Right? For the break here, then 15 minutes and meet around 9:36 or something. So let's meet again very soon. Okay, students, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
great, great. Thank you, Buddha. So let's now go through question number 3 and see what kind of possible answers are there. So describe 3 of the main barriers to the adoption of e-commerce by consumers and suggest how a company could counter this. Now here what it says is, now in the class we discussed what are the barriers of implementation by businesses. Why certain particularly small scale businesses are not, or what are the challenges that they have faced. But here read the question very well. Sometimes some students did not read the question very well and they were telling something else. Here they are asking about what? Barriers by the consumers. So we had a exactly similar question in the class and we even discussed the answers. So what are the barriers? So they might not get what they ordered. The payment options might not be up to the standard. And sometimes the website might be down. The app might be having a lot of bugs, right? And also there is no refund policy. Sometimes there are hidden charges. So likewise, there could be several barriers and they might not be, now it might be only in English language. So that's a barrier itself, not in their own mother tongue. So likewise, there could be several barriers. Then what can the company do now? They could then update the website in different languages, provide customer support, including AI support. Likewise, and then if there's downtime, then change the internet service provider or the web hosting service. Have a 100% uptime web hosting service, like some hosting or whatever they say that they are ensuring 100% uptime, right? So likewise, use up-to-date software. Likewise, you can have several suggestions made to counter those barriers. And here it's asked only 3 main barriers. Then explain how the balance scorecard framework could be used to assess the performance of a business. I think we very nicely discussed it under the ESP framework. Can you remember ESP framework? Let me take you to the session itself. The ESP framework I explained to you under 5.1. Digital business strategy. Right, and then you can go to chapter 5 additional. So I explained the balanced scorecard approach. ESP framework. Then I told you when it comes to assessment of the assessment, the measurement, performance measurement could be used in the balanced scorecard approach. And here these are the indices. So these are the tools you would use. Now, for an example, for customer perspective, what are the measurement? Right, measures that you could use. Then internal perspective, what are the measures? So here I have listed them. Learning and growth perspective. Now, for an example, with the customer perspective, for an example, loyalty and satisfaction could be measured through what? Percentages of visitors who return customers, return visitors, time between visits. If it's a very long time, then not good. And shopping cart abandonment. Customer engagement matrices could be number of comments, photos, and videos posted and shared. Then the internal perspective. These are the internal processes. Number of customers who use the service. Number of complaints in the social media. If the internal processes are not good, then there will be a lot of complaints. Amount of time to answer customer email. Number of website updates per day. The learning and growth perspective. This is the educational side and training side. Number of new products and features. Number of customer complaints and fixes. So if you are fixing, that's learning and growth. Conversions from online leads. Conversion means who really purchase the item once you come to the website. So learning and growth. Then financial perspective, it might be sales growth, market share, return on invested capital, average order value, individual customer profit. So these are some of the financial measures. So likewise, you can very nicely elaborate the answer for this question, which we discussed in the class. B. Then also this one, you can digital surveillance. Digital surveillance, whether it's right to, survey whether the employer, right, whether it's okay, whether the employer to monitor the employee. Did I discuss that in the class? Employer connect employee. Now, is the employee, is it okay or to evaluate whether the employer evaluating the employee's online activities? And the employer go into the employee's email and monitor what he has sent and during the day what he is doing. Did we discuss that? Discuss, no? That's the thing. So you can see there we had for and against arguments. For and against arguments of it discuss. What's the argument against? Main thing was what? Privacy. The employees have privacy and the employees have privacy. And if the employers come and look at their work, then that's an issue. It will show that they have lack of trust. And it will kill the initiative. It will kill the innovativeness. And people like me would never like my employer, right, come and peeking over my particularly papers, question papers, right? I don't want my employer to do that. I don't want anyone to do that because I am engaged in national paper, some national exams, professional exams. So on paper setting aspects, so I don't want anyone to look at my email. So that's against the employers monitoring the employees' online activities, online surveys. But on the other hand, there are enough, reasons why the employer should look at. goes to see whether the employees are misusing or abusing the resources. We know some in certain places, like they from the morning to evening, what they are doing is they are watching YouTube, right? Right. Last night's what? Last night's teledramas they are watching all day. And sometimes they download illegal software, illegal movies, and that might make the employer liable because they are using their internet connection, the IPs of the employer. And sometimes harassments might be taking place, right? And that can be prevented if the employers monitor the employees, right? And to be more, make the employees more efficient, using the time more efficient, the resources more efficient. The resources are not wasted, their productivity is higher. Likewise, there are arguments for and against. Then critically evaluate, you have to give your own idea at the end. The final conclusion might be, yes, if you're going to have any surveillance, it has to be decent and it has to be objective, not to punish anyone, but to just to do an overall surveillance maybe. But on the other hand, such kind of surveillance should have been included in the employee contract. Employment contract in the employment contract it should have been written. Unless otherwise, you should not do that. So that's the surveillance aspect of employers or employees. Then we even can take that to whether a country, whether the government of a country can, have this digital surveillance on its citizens. But again, there are arguments for and against for that. Right? What they say is they would like to do that because of national security. Terrorist activities could be, detected on time if the surveillance is done. But then what happens is they go beyond and they try to attack the opposition, politicians and activists. So likewise, different arguments for and against are there. Nothing in this world is 100% good or 100% bad. Even water, too much water is not good. Right? Too much water, drinking too much water. Of course, you have to drink adequate water. These days, I'm being told by my doctor to drink water, right? Because to keep hydrated and to have a healthy life. We drink very less water and it's impacting a lot of organs negatively. But too much water, on the other hand, might not be good at all. Anything too much is not good. So likewise, any concept might be, having two sides. So that's where you have to balance. A balancing act should be there. So that's about critically evaluate the digital surveillance aspect. Okay, any questions related to it? So we can see what we have discussed in the class exactly has been tested as questions. Right? Any questions? Because I'm taking effort to elaborate these things because we could not have a nice concluding session. So today I'm taking the time to do this conclusion. And officially wish my good students all the best. And please, the session is recorded and please circulate this recording with all your friends. And someone can send me a recorded link as well because I also have got no access to this one. So please download the recording and send me the recorded link for me as well, right? Because it's so I could post it into the LMS and also share with all my good students, of course. Right? It's going to be extremely important. Okay, right. Let's now come to question number 4. Discuss what digital business infrastructure is with examples. Did we do that? Indeed, yes. We discussed what's digital business infrastructure. I was telling you there are 3 components when it comes to digital business infrastructure. What's that? Three components. What are the three components? Hardware, software, and the network. Right? Then you can give examples for what's hardware and what's software and what's then network. And here it asks with examples, right? And also you can explain the 5 layers. Right? Another way that you can expand is with the 5 layers. The 5 layers of digital business infrastructure. What are the 5 layers? Can you remember? Let me show you. What are the 5 layers? The application layer, system software layer, then what? The network layer, then the physical storage layer, as well as the data layer. The information itself or the data layer itself. So I even explained that to you by using an employee who was applying for a holiday. So you can use those two aspects to explain what digital business infrastructure is. Okay. Okay. So let me show you the. It's lecture 4. No. It was lecture 3. Yeah. This digital business infrastructure, I was telling that, yes, there's hardware like servers, then desktop computers, laptop computers, mobile devices, then network to link this hardware, right? And the software applications, of course, and of course, across the computers and servers. And then what? The software, right, is what we mean by digital business infrastructure. Then I was talking about the 5-layer model. And of course, look at particularly what's this augmented reality. Another tip. What's augmented reality? Right, it will be important. And an example as well, augmented reality. Right. Then the 5-layer model. The 5-layer model, you can see these are the 5 layers. Right. So you can see if I put it to the display mode. So you can see digital business. So the application layer, then system software layer, the network layer, and the storage layer, as well as the content or the data layer. And then I even have one here, an example where an employee is applying for leave. Right. Okay. So go through this. It will be important. Right. Then, very interesting question. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of adopting cloud accounting by Sri Lankan medium-sized business entity. Cloud accounting. Did we discuss that at the class? Indeed, we had a presentation also. What are the advantages and disadvantages, isn't it? Will be very important. Advantages and disadvantages, critical evaluation. So we understood there are several advantages of adopting cloud accounting. What are the advantages? If you cannot remember, then put the same question to ChatGPT, which you did at that time. Right? For all these questions, you can get elaborate answers. Not at the exam, of course, but if you want more answers, of course, for each, even the case study, you can put as it is and get the answers. Right? So you know that better than me, isn't it? Using how to use ChatGPT. Right? Okay, so what were the advantages? Scalability, number one. Right? You can scale very easily. You can expand and you can contract easily. Right? Because if you purchase licenses, then indeed you cannot scale it. But cloud, it's subscription based. Annually you pay a subscription. And it's cloud. So they could give 200 access or even 100 access, and you can decide what's the access you. But on the other hand, if you purchase license, then that's, and you don't need expensive hardware, right? Because to run an ERP system or even an accounting system, you need sophisticated computers. But if it is running in cloud, right, you don't need, because it's in the cloud. Now, for an example, to run Google Sheets, you don't need to install that, isn't it? Even from your mobile, you can run it. You don't need expensive software or expensive hardware for that. And you don't need an in-house IT division to maintain. And automatic updates are coming in. Now, Microsoft 365, that if you have a subscription, automatic updates. Right? There's no upfront cost. So there's huge cost saving as well. Subscription cost is there, of course, but there's no upfront cost. So likewise, you can see several advantages are there. But on the other hand, what are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to tell me here. I'll give about 5 minutes to tell me what are the disadvantages. Right. Now the same question can be asked: critically evaluate adopting cloud accounting system in a Sri Lankan mid-sized company. Critically evaluate. Again, you are going to tell the same thing: advantages and disadvantages. And again, then finally give you a conclusion. You can say we have to look at the, maybe it's the future, of course. That's what we have to agree. Right? Cloud accounting, cloud-based ERP system is going to be the future, whether we like it or not. All software will be, the important software will be subscription-based, whether we like it or not. But there are disadvantages also. Now, I told you the advantages. Now, tell me what are the disadvantages. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. Okay. Use again, if you want, ChatGPT and tell me what are the disadvantages. 5 minutes. What are the disadvantages?
We do need internet to access.
Very good. Indeed. Now it's compulsory. And if the internet, and we are talking about Sri Lanka, right? We are talking, even in Colombo, and even last Sunday, right? I was someone's mic has a bit, got a bit. So be careful, be careful. We hear some noises. It's very usual, of course. Please be careful. Okay, you can hear. Particularly, camera na on karaganne ba. It's going to be a disaster. Particularly female students, be very careful. Right. So what are the disadvantages? Yes, internet connection. Now, last Saturday, I, even at SAM, I found that the internet connection was having a problem. Right. It was disruption. So therefore, in that case, you might not get the service. You cannot access the software. That's a major issue. What else? What are the other disadvantages of having a cloud-based accounting system? That's a major issue. What's that? A major issue, Gatti.
Security issues.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very, very good. Security issues, right? Because remember our data, and that also comes into a privacy issue. Because remember, our data is not in our computer. It's in a server of someone else. Because this cloud software is running right in some other faraway server, maybe in California, maybe in some other country, India, or maybe in Australia or somewhere else. So that data is not with us. So privacy concerns are there. Hacker could easily get into it. and so creates security issues as well. Right? Security issues as well. And sometimes the subscription cost might be too expensive in the long run. Right? And migration issues might take place because you might not be able to migrate from one cloud system to other. And you might lose all your data. But they have a backup system, of course. Right? But there are these kind of disadvantages too. And there might be hidden costs, etc., etc. And of course, we might not have an in-house IT division, but if there are IT problems, then getting it resolved might be an issue. The other main problem is that the cloud-based accounting systems might not be able to customize to client requirements because it's the same cloud version that they sell to all. So particularly what I find is that now Sri Lankan taxation, every day they change it, right? Tax rules, they change every day or not every day or every month or whatever, they change it. So, but the cloud-based, tax modules of ERP systems and accounting systems might not be updated likewise. So we might not be able to use them. So likewise, there are disadvantages as well. But finally, what you have to tell is, yes, you have to do a cost-benefit analysis. And it's a small, medium-sized business. Then if it's a medium-sized business, then cloud-based system might be a very good option. But also to understand there are certain disadvantages and therefore there should be backup plans. Right? Okay. So likewise, expect these kind of questions. Another tip. Okay, right. Then suppose you note that the usage of internet. So we know internet, extranet, and the internet, we understood the difference. Now here, suppose if the intranet is quite low in your organization, what kind of things you could do to increase the usage? Right? Internet is the private network only accessible by the employees. Let's say in an organization, it's being used quite less. Then what to do? Suppose we could do different things. We can make the user interface more easy to use. We can make it more mobile friendly, right? Also insert some fun activities into that, update the content, and have some thought leaders and champions, change champions, and people who are using that to promote it in the social media, right? And also give incentives for people who are using the internet and put some training videos and other things, train the people to use the internet properly. Likewise, there are different strategies that you could use, right? Then about the next question, F. What's the next question? Read it. The traditional value chain model of Michael Porter is no longer useful as a framework for the value chain management for an e-business. Critically evaluate the above statement. What's the answer? Sir, there's a problem. What's the problem? Sir, you did not teach us. Ah, indeed. I did not teach you. So I'm not going to ask this question. So this is from what we call the value chain analysis or the supply chain analysis. I did not teach you that, so just don't expect these questions in your paper. This question will never be asked in your paper about value chain analysis. Okay, so rest assured, if I don't teach that, I will never ask that. That's a guarantee that I'll be giving you. Right? No one told that I did not teach, but I asked myself and I gave you the feedback. Okay. Okay. Any questions out of that question? Is it clear? Questions, Tina? No questions. No questions, no answers. Okay. Okay. මොනවා ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද පුතා? Is it clear? Right?
Clear.
Shall I?
Clear, sir.
Clear. Okay, Buddha, good. So let's go to the next one then, the last question. Okay, explain what's a business model. Did we discuss that? Business model tells the what, how value is created and disseminated. And also I taught you what? The BMC. This time also it will be important. This time also it will be important. BMC. What stands for BMC? Business Model Canvas. So how many elements are there in the business model canvas?
9.
9 elements. Excellent. 9 elements. What's the most important one? Value proposition. Unique value proposition. So we applied that to SAP as well. So at the exam, it will be important. Be careful, be careful. And then also there's a nice question, right? Explain how different elements of social media marketing radar could be used. Did we discuss the social marketing radar? Social media marketing radar. Kata karada නැද්ද? We used by a private education institution to attract new students. Did we discuss that? Of course, yes. I'll show you where we discussed. Right, let me go to the slides and show you. Not here. It was the first one. Yeah, it was the first one. It's easy, right? Social marketing radar is this. Even without teaching that, you will understand. So this is called the social media marketing radar. What simply it means is that there are different social media marketing ways that you can use social media for marketing. Now, for an example, you can have social networks. Like what? Social networks examples are what? Facebook. You can perform Facebook marketing easily. So we call that social network marketing. Then we have what? Social streaming websites are there. What's the best example for social streaming? YouTube. YouTube streams what? Videos. That's what we call social streaming. Right? Social streaming. So the YouTube is there and you could use that. And we also, marketers, can use YouTube for social streaming. Then we also have here social search. Google search is a very good example. And indeed, in search, when we search things, you can see how they use it for advertising. Right? Then again, what? Social knowledge, like Wikipedia. The PDFs are there. So when you search things, advertisements also could take place. People could use that social search, social knowledge, sharing things as well. Then social blogging. There are microblogging websites. Could be used for that. Right? Likewise, you can see there are different social media platforms that could be used for marketing purposes. So we can use that easily. So that's what we are calling. We call this social media marketing radar. And if you just say out of these few things like social streaming, social networking, as well as social search, social knowledge related ones. So you can tell how we could use the marketers, clever marketers could use this to advertise their products. Social publishing is there. Right? Again, in blog sites, you can publish your articles, you can publish about products, services, etc. Okay. Right. Then finally, difference between vertical integration and virtual integration. No, we did not discuss this. This is coming under value chain analysis. Vertical integration and virtual integration, we did not discuss. So just ignore that. I'm not going to ask you that. And indeed, even, now this one, social media marketing radar, anyone could understand because there are different social media marketing platforms like what? Social networking sites, social knowledge sharing sites, social search sites. Likewise, anyone could answer by taking few examples, right? So, and also it's a tip also, be aware of these kind of questions. So the thing is, but I did not teach you about vertical integration and virtual integration. So just ignore that. Don't worry. I'm not going to test anything that of this nature, which are very specific and which I did not teach. Okay. So those are the 5 questions. Yes, Pudha.
Sir, can you please mention what is the chapter of social media marketing radar?
Rita, that's Pudha chapter 1. What I'll do is I will chapter 1, there were 2 chapters in fact. So what I'll do is I will put this particular diagram, right? So my diagram again. So let me put that Pudha, right? So specifically, then I go to, because there's this chapter number 1, but yeah, let me put it again. Only look at this particular slide. Yeah. So what I'll do is without confusing you, chapter 1 textbook 2 I will come to that as well. But let me put this like this. So I just put this information only, not to confuse you. Give me a moment. Zero moment of truth. But I'll put this as a separate slide. So I'll call it social media marketing radar. And let me put it over here. Okay, Buddha. So please look at it again to explain what's that. It's a simple concept. So you are using different social media platforms, right? Like social networks, social search, right? Social streaming, social search, and even social knowledge sharing sites like Wikipedia for marketing purposes. So that's what we call, and of course, an education institution also could easily use that. An education institution can have a social network. Now, SAP could have a Facebook, isn't it? Facebook, and they could advertise there. Of course, they are doing that. And SAP could use also what? Social streaming. It has a YouTube channel, of course, and it can advertise itself there as well to attract new good students. And social search in Google, right? When we search for education institutions in Sri Lanka, automatically SAP comes because it optimized for that. Then social knowledge. we are not using that in Wikipedia, like of kind of platforms, we could advertise as well. So that's what Putha means by what? Social media marketing radar. It's a simple concept because we know about social media. What it says is that you can use to advertise in this, right? And use it for marketing purposes. Right? So I just included that over here. Right? Social media marketing radar. Is it clear, Bhutana? I think I did not confuse you, right? So I just, okay, but I put it under here, chapter 1. So please go through that. And what you have to do is only explain, if you are being asked, of course, right, that. Right, any further questions? Questions, concerns? Right, now let me go to chapter number 1. I don't know whether I'm speaking too much. Right, but again, to my good students, I would like to add value. So if you go to chapter number 1, right, which is over here, this is coming under chapter number 1, but today I elaborated that well, although I discussed about social media, but here what it says is under the radar, what it says is that you can use social media for marketing purposes, different platforms. Streaming, social media streaming means like YouTube, like then Vimeo is there, likewise Vimeo and that kind of platforms. So that's what I was telling. Now let's go to chapter number 1, right, which is over here of textbook 2. Right here, there are several things that we discussed. Of course, we discussed about what's an e-business, then what's e-commerce, and what's the difference we discussed, right? And here this, and the internet, extranet, and the internet we discussed. The zero moment of truth. And particularly, I also discussed about the concept of strategy, digital business strategy. And also, I discussed what? Technological evolution stages. Isn't it? Technological revolution stages. How many stages are there? How many stages are there? There are 4 stages. First stage is eruption stage. Let me explain karani. Indeed, yes. I did that on the first day itself. Right? Eruption stage. Eruption stage. Right? Where new technology pops up like ChatGPT. That's eruption stage. Then frenzy stage. Then this is where the people, right, use it as madly and they are talking about that rapid growth. Like I think now in Sri Lanka, we see we are in frenzy stage, particularly related to OpenAI products like ChatGPT. Frenzy stage. Then synergy stage. Then later on, people see how we can integrate these new systems into legacy systems. Legacy systems are existing systems, right? With existing systems. Now, of course, some people are looking at in their own marketing systems how to use AI. Even in auditing, how to use AI. That's what we call synergy stage. In the traditional systems, how to use these new systems. Then maturity stage. The maturity stage is the final stage. It's stabilization, widespread adoption. Widespread adoption. Like e-business now, people all are using e-businesses, particularly widespread use is there. But still, I don't see that related to OpenAI products like ChatGPT. Still, I think in Sri Lanka, we have the frenzy stage. Eruption stage is past, but We are still frenzy. We are still not using it for productive purposes. Okay, so I think that's really chapter number 1. So because I particularly covered a few aspects of chapter number 1. Then chapter number 2, we discussed about the opportunities and challenges in e-businesses, which we covered during the session today, right? Chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. So we did not discuss chapter 6, right? And chapter 7, 8, 9. So there is rest assured, in fact, chapter 8 and 9 are very minor topics, but some aspects I took on the last day to teach you for your assignment purposes only. But other than that, I did not discuss particularly the chapter 6. In chapter 6, we have this virtual integration. It's the major chapter. And chapter 7, 8, 9, I usually discuss together, taking half an hour. There's not much important things are there. But chapter 6 is a comprehensive chapter, which we did not discuss because there was no time. I was not well. But rest assured, nothing will be tested from chapters that I did not cover. Right? Is that clear? Okay, so these are the things I want to discuss with my good students because I could not have this discussion with you. And I know you were quite a little bit agitated. And I would please ask my good students to do me a favor, right? Please download this particular video that I today itself, if possible, or just after this. Please download it if you have access and put that into Google Drive or whatever. And please send me the link. So I will put that in the website and ask all my good students, because I can see only, only 36 people are here, because it's not a lecture today. It's only a awareness session, because my students wanted this awareness session. So I wanted to support you, right? Despite, I know it's late evening, but then my students asked, okay, shall we start at 8? So because a lot of people could come from work, I do understand. I told perfectly fine. Miss Ashinika asked me, like, sir, is it okay we start at 8 p.m.? I told, no problem. Even 9 p.m., no problem. I can go up to 12. But then she told, no, students request. I told, yes, indeed, I do understand. Because before I became an academic, I also was an intern, right? At the university, and even after that, because I'm a chartered accountant and FCA. So I had to get the training, and I really am proud of that. And those days I had to work till late night. So I do understand. So I told perfectly okay. So we'll have the session at 8 to maybe 10:30, 10, 11 or whatever, till my good students wants it. And then because it came from you all and closer to the exam, so it will be a revision as well. So today I gave you a lot of tips, right? And there are only 36 students here. So I would like to spread this message among the other students also who were not able to come. So I would request one of you, maybe Prakash, could help me, or someone else could help me to download the recorded video and put that into some kind of platform, and please share the link with me. I'll put that to the LMS as well as share with and also you also put share that with all of the others. So as a help for the exam. That's my sole intention, to help you. You are good. Wow, you are one of the best, batches that I really enjoyed teaching. Another batch had a small issue with me, unfortunately. For you, I was teaching you from 8 to 11, isn't it? No, yeah, no. අපි අපේ lecture එක තිබුණා 8:11 නේද?
Oh, sir.
Yeah, we had that and I really enjoyed it. But ඊට පස්සේ 11:30, 2:30 there was one bet. My God, one of the students really created a very bad scene. Right? I gave a classroom assessment and කෑ ගහන්න අරගෙන පන්තියේදී. So we usually do a classroom assessment in the class, no? So she started shouting and it was pathetic. And I was surprised. The first time in my life, a student was behaving not like a student. Now, if you do have any questions, we are very, we are people, we can understand each other. And always I would like to listen to my students, what kind of person that I am. But in that batch, there was a student, my God. So later on, I even suspected some kind of, I don't know, some other issue is there. But again, uh, I felt very, very uneasy because I was not well. I just came after, having a critical situation in my life. And then as a help, because then there was a suggestion to even change the lecturer. But I told, no, don't do that. It will be harmful. It will be harmful for the students because they have to get adjusted to a new lecture. But I will take the risk. And then I did an online lecture. And I gave a small assessment. Of course, in every lecture, I give a small assessment, isn't it? But this lady, my God, started shouting and, behaved in a manner that reminded me the Aragale. Right? Even Aragale they did it peacefully. It was students, can you hear me?
So we can hear.
Yes, sir.
Students?
Yes, sir.
Oh, internet connection, again. So I'm in Maharagam, but you can see what kind of internet connection is there, isn't it? So we are talking about e-business strategy, but again, ground realities of Sri Lanka. So what I was telling is that in that batch, the from 11:30 to 2:30, I was teaching this batch. So I felt really very uneasy and bad because I just came after, a critical situation. But I really enjoyed your batch. You all supported and without any kind of incident or whatever, really enjoyed you all. Thank you very much. And so do you have any further questions? Someone had a question? So someone please kindly record it and download it. The recorded one, please download it and send me the link. So I'll put that in the LMS, and please ask other students who are unable to come also to look at this and to get ready for the exam. My sole intention is to support. So when the request came from the students, I told, okay, I'll be very happy to do that and help my good students.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, Sputa, please go ahead.
Sir, I'm just asking this. Next semester we have package-based data analytics. So do you continue with us for that?
Of course. I don't know. Because Puta, now I am quite okay. With the grace of God, I I suffered a major heart attack. But again, with the grace of God, I'm back with all good health. And so the doctors did a yeoman contribution. So indeed, yes, I'll be teaching that subject. And I even started because I was teaching already a subject to my good students, which was on Sunday. So last week I started that. So yes, indeed, it's an optional one. So I think you know that there are two options. Either you can do a research project, or Puta, or do the package-based subject. I'm doing the package-based subject, but we'll discuss once you come to the class. I'll tell some other information as well, which you will be surprised why I am telling those things, because I have to be telling that, because it all depends on whether you are going to based on that, your perception indeed, whether you are going to continue as a special student, special degree, or you are going to a general one, that means 3-year one, or you are going to go additional another 1 year. So likewise, there are different things that we'll discuss. So at that time, Puta, because they will give you a chance to select out of that. So indeed, um, the students enjoy doing that package-based subject. Also, I encourage doing the optional one, not because I don't want my good students to do my subject, not that, but also it might be beneficial to do a research project if you are not going to do the special degree or something like that. But we'll discuss that, Puta. We'll openly discuss on the first day itself. And you can ask your seniors, the batches who had completed. And what I see is a majority uh, enjoying package-based data analytics, of course. And I enjoy teaching that as well. And so, Puta, yes, I'll be offering that. Indeed.
Sir, any update about our CA marks?
Update, don't worry at all. Right? I know it was, we could not do the presentation, but Puta, don't worry at all. So I'm going through that now, and particularly about your group work as well as your individual ones. The individual work, Puta, was uploaded by all on due time. Some students had little bit, delayed there, but don't worry. So Puta, don't worry. Again, what I see is students have done very nicely. Particularly now I'm going through the group work. Some groups have gone the extra mile, as even I did not expect they have done in very good, excellent quality. So don't worry, Puta. Again, what I just browsed the other groups work as well. So yeah, it was fine. So, and also what I saw was all had taken part in the individual what we call this classwork, as well as group wise you took part in the classwork. So I did not see any issue with that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Actually, you all give immense support, right? So that's what I always liked in your batch. So working closely as well as trying to provide you the lecturers are trying to give you the maximum contribution, and while you were giving the maximum support to deliver that. So the two batch leaders I really appreciate from both batches. Really appreciate Puta for your human contribute. Both are here today, and you are the people who are asking questions, and you are giving the feedback and always helping. So that itself is very encouraging. Right. Prakash, the mega dali vanwa neda matter. You are sending me now. Okay,
Sure.
Puta. Okay, Puta. Then I will upload it, and Puta also circulate that, and I put that in the LMS, because I want to not only these 37 people who are here. I know you are facing massive difficulties while working, and then you have to come. So maybe you might have logged in halfway through, but the entire recorded session, if I can make it available, that's also the final thing I can do for you, for your benefit. Although it's a
Sure.
web session, and thank you, Puta. Thank you, Prakash. I know that you will do that. Somehow you will do that. And the other batch leader as well. So all of you gave me the tremendous support. Any further questions before I wind up?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Puta, please go ahead.
So this is the minister.
Yes, Buddha.
This is regarding it was an
Sorry, Buddha.
issue for me only.
So, Buddha, I cannot hear you, Buddha.
Can I answer?
Buddha, පොඩක් කැඩි කැඩි වගේ හෙන්නේ. Isn't it? ප්‍රකාශ හරියට හෙන්නේ නැහැ නේද?
sir. දෙවමිනි මේ clear නැද දෙවමිනි?
Break වෙවි හෙන්නේ වගේ. Buddha, you can again try?
Hello, can I hear me?
Yes, Buddha. Yes. Please go ahead, Buddha.
Okay, it's regarding the individual assignments and it's an issue for me. I guess only for me and I spoke regarding
Okay, Buddha.
to you.
Don't worry. So, Buddha, if it is a issue that you face, please, Buddha, drop me an email. Telling me what was the issue, and we'll try to see how we can help you.
Yeah,
Don't-
I have dropped an email, sir. That's
Okay,
what I
Buddha.
wanted to inform.
Oh, right. Don't worry. I think I had
Okay.
missed that, Buddha, because I was in the bit of not a convenient place to look at. So they were particularly the doctors knew that I'm going to, so as well as my family members, so they took off my my computer laptop. And
Yeah.
as well as, so Buddha, you can little bit re-forward it, and I will take a look at it. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry at all, Buddha. I do understand, and you were unable to contact me to get advice, so I very well understand that. So I will give the benefit to you, of
Yeah,
course,
I spoke
because
to you once, sir, but I didn't want to disturb you.
don't worry,
So
don't
that's why
worry.
I just dropped an email.
Yeah. You the precaution that's the particular
Yes.
company was that's perfectly okay.
Yes, that's
That's
the only step I could take at the moment.
no problem. I think you had taken the best decision.
Okay,
Even
thank you.
if I work able to put a speak at that time and advise you, I would have told the same thing. So it's perfectly fine. I saw that. Although
Okay, thank you.
despite I was unable to put a respond immediately, I saw that, and immediately I was what I thought was you had taken the most accurate decision, correct decision.
Thank
To
you,
do
sir.
go ahead and doing that, and it's perfectly okay. But then also I do understand that because we had to do the things while we cannot wait no Buddha, because now in my end I was not able to put a I was in a critical situation, but then you had taken a very prudent decision and gone ahead with that decision. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Buddha. Thank you very much for clarifying that as well. Okay, how about others? Ask any question. Even if you have any other questions, you can let the batch leaders know, and they can contact me, and I will be able to clarify that as well.
Sir,
Yes, Buddha.
you teach us SOSTEC analysis at the lectures.
No.
Do you give it?
No. For the exam purposes, Buddha, no, don't worry about that. So step kicker, but ESP? ESP is important. So stack So stack is, we discussed that at the end. No, that's only I taught to Buddha for the assignment purposes. Taus analysis, so stack analysis, assignment. So I taught you that for the assignment also, even if you did not use that, don't worry for the assignment. If you had used the ESP framework, that was my target. For the examination, yes, ESP is going to be important. But SOSTEC, Puta, no, don't worry about that. So I made a small convenience for my good students. Okay. Right. It's a very valid question, Puta. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions? No questions. Okay. Ask. Clarify. And even if you have more questions, Buddha, you just contact me over the phone and through the batch leaders, and I will clarify them. And also I will, once you send me the link, I will put that into the LMS as well. Because today is an awareness session, it's not a lecture at all. Just to help you for your exams. That's going to be on Sunday. So this is the best day to have the. Yesterday I had a puta because I am the chairman of the education committee of CA Sri Lanka. So we had our physical meeting because I was not well. We did not have the meeting last week, and because the curriculum was launched last week, and so we had to take an immediate meeting yesterday. That's why I was unable to do the lecture yesterday, the session yesterday. And then I told that today I had something else. I postponed that, and I told, yes, we'll do it. And 8 p.m. then it was suggested to have it at 8 p.m. I told, okay, no problem. Let's have it at 8 p.m. because it's convenient for most of the students. Then not only going forward, what I'll do is I will, once I get the link from you, I will post it to the LMS, and also please circulate that among all students. So it will be beneficial to all. And because you have till Sunday, so use the time productively. Listen to this session again. And I gave you several tips that are going to, even I gave you the industry where this time the firm will be there. So it will also be, you can just get an awareness of that industry is the audit. I'm talking about an audit firm who is going to use innovative practices. So again, I reminded the tip, and likewise several tips I gave you. So because I did that, because you were worried, I do understand. Suddenly I got not well, and you might have felt that you were lost. No, I did not want to have that. So then the request came. So immediately I tried to help you. Right. So that's the good faith that because teachers are your second parents, but as your parents, we are caring about you, and we like to see you progress, and we will never give up if you are living, of course. Okay. Right, Puta. With that, then let me take this opportunity to wish you all the very best, right, for the examinations, and not only for the examination, for your entire life. So I would like to see you in the best positions in the future. And of course, doing the degree very well, and of course, completing chartered and other professional exams as well, and to be fully fledged best professionals who are going to contribute to the society immensely. So that's my noble objective and wish as well to all of you. So good luck with all the subjects that you are going to now attempt. And so particularly, I think now you were, I think, a little bit worried about this subject, and I think now it's gone, right? So I wish you all the very best for the exams as well as for your life. Thank you, Buddha. And I will never say goodbye to my good students because probably I'll be meeting you at the package-based data analytics subject, as well as, why not, maybe in your MBA, maybe in a PhD. We'll be meeting. So I never say goodbye to my good students, but I wish you all the very best for the exams as well as for your life. Right? Good luck. Please take care of it, and use this time very productively for going through revising the content, and it won't be an issue at all. For this subject, don't worry. Right? So now you can go through this again, and this awareness session again, and get ready. Okay, Buddha. With that, then we'll complete for today. Please take care, be safe, and wish you all the best.